for the Intercontinental Championship looking at the card here. But I didn't. I picked the Big Show to win his first Intercontinental Championship, the only championship that's eluded the Big Show in his career. And I want to start off the show this week streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter for our video blog and our video archive with the end of an era match, The Undertaker vs. Triple H. It is part 2 of this saga. It's been fun seeing this story develop over the last 365 days. Triple H said at the end of WrestleMania 27 that he knew The Undertaker would be back. He comes back a couple of months out from WrestleMania, and we have The Undertaker vs. Triple H Part 2. Triple H more reluctant to face The Undertaker than he's been reluctant to face anybody in his career. The reluctancy on the behalf of Triple H. Did we need this? Does Triple H need to be so confident heading into this match with The Undertaker? I think both wrestlers need a tremendous amount of confidence because they've got to be nervous. I mean, this is the biggest match on the show, and in my opinion, it's the main event of WrestleMania. It's going to outdo and surpass anything The Rock and John Cena will give you, which will probably be about a 15-minute long match in total, ending with one FU or one rock bottom. I think The Undertaker vs. Triple H needs to be the WrestleMania main event. I'm going to tell you why. The promos, the hype over the last year has been bigger than The Rock versus John Cena. It really has. A lot of fans think this is it for The Undertaker. That's a big factor with how much hype this thing has gotten, how much conversation it's generated on Twitter and Facebook. With Shawn Michaels being the referee in to promote his WrestleMania charity, obviously, it adds excitement to the match. You can't have WrestleMania without Mr. WrestleMania in his word and his mind. And he might be right. He might have just added flavor to the match. I picked to win this match The Undertaker because I don't think The Undertaker deserves to have his WrestleMania streak come to an end. And I'm sure a lot of you listening to the show on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook believe the same thing. After 20 years at WrestleMania, The Undertaker's going to have his streak ended by Triple H, a guy initially he didn't want to have end his streak. He wanted someone like Kane to end his streak, and now all of a sudden, we're going to see Triple H jam a sledgehammer into the back of his neck, paralyze The Undertaker, and that's it. At WrestleMania inside of Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell is an appropriate place to have your career end. But under the circumstances that The Undertaker and Triple H are faced with at this year's WrestleMania, with Shawn Michaels in to promote his charity, The Undertaker potentially going to 20-0, upping his record to an unprecedented number, I don't think The Undertaker deserves to lose. And if he loses, WWE creative are nothing but pieces of shit and, people who are hypocrites. They're making you believe that The Undertaker's career is going to live on. They're hypocrites, in my opinion, to take something away from The Undertaker that he should be known for. I think that every wrestler in the wrestling business, regardless of who they are, deserves to have something to be known for. Shawn Michaels deserves to be known as Mr. WrestleMania. Bret Hart deserves to be known as the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Their incredible Iron Man match, the first ever in WWE history. There was a second one in 2000. Between The Rock and Triple H for the title. That was won by Triple H. They went so many years and didn't have an Iron Man match because that match was so incredible in Anaheim at WrestleMania 12. I believe that Stone Cold Steve Austin deserves to be known as the toughest son of a bitch to ever lace up a pair of boots competing in a 20 by 20 foot ring. Why are all these wrestlers known for so much, and then you're going to take something that The Undertaker worked so hard to earn over 21 years away from him? Does he deserve to have it taken away from him? I don't think so. That's why I picked The Undertaker to win. Now, I might be going out on a limb. I might be someone who doesn't want to face reality and say The Undertaker's career is going to come to an end because last year was supposed to be his final run with the company. He's considered retired because he only comes in once a year. But the one match he has out of 365 days at a big pay-per-view in front of 70,000 people is match of the year every year. It was last year. It was the year before with Shawn Michaels. And there are 2 matches at WrestleMania, incredible matches. It's based on The Undertaker's career a bit too much, and it's making you believe things that probably aren't even true. The end result of this could potentially be one wrestler's career comes to an end, Triple H goes back to the office and enjoys his office role. The Undertaker's career comes to an end, going 19-1. 19-1 doesn't sound right to me. They already have signs made. 20-0, Undertaker, rest in peace, Triple H. Doesn't make sense for The Undertaker to lose his streak. And it would really disappoint me if The Undertaker loses his streak at WrestleMania. I'm going to be honest. I really don't care what happens for the remainder of the 4.5 hour show. If this match comes on first, it's not going to, and The Undertaker loses, then I am going to turn off WrestleMania because I do not want to see what happens in the Best in the World versus the Best in the World. I don't care who wins between John Cena versus The Rock, because what I'm tuning in to watch WrestleMania for, and a lot of you will be tuning in WrestleMania to see, will not be worth it. You will see The Undertaker's career end. He'll walk out, raise his fist in the air out of respect to Triple H, never to be seen again, with a Hall of Fame induction to come 365 days after his final match at WrestleMania, like they did for Shawn Michaels a year ago. I really think The Undertaker deserves to win, and if he loses, it's going to take a lot of anticipation, a lot of hype away from WrestleMania, and it will all be for nothing. What has Triple H done besides win the title over 13 times to end the streak of The Undertaker? He's done everything there is to do, so he's going to take the one thing The Undertaker should be known for away from him. I've talked about this for video archives on my YouTube channel at youtube.com, JonathanClarke22. Tell us what you think. Do you think The Undertaker deserves to have his streak end? I know we have a lot of Undertaker fans on our Facebook page. A lot of fans mention The Undertaker when I have a conversation with them about wrestling that I've met in person. Does The Undertaker deserve to lose? Someone you feared when you were 6 years old, does he deserve to befall to Triple H via a sledgehammer shot or a chair shot, taking over 35 chair shots last year? Did that need to happen? The Undertaker says he will not let that image of him be left in the minds of fans and his own. And he will try to justify what happened to him last year at WrestleMania. He comes back, lets Triple H know he's still standing here. Incredible build for this match. I don't think The Undertaker deserves to lose. He deserves to win via a last ride or a tombstone, and I hope we get it. I picked The Undertaker to win the end of an era match. Shawn Michaels will definitely play a wild card, but the only reason he's there is to promote his WrestleMania charity, and if it wasn't for that, I don't think he would be the referee for the match. And initially when Shawn Michaels returned, I said he's either going to compete in one more WrestleMania match and make it a three-way, which a lot of fans wanted it to be, chanting triple threat. The inaugural time Shawn Michaels appeared to confront Triple H. There a couple of weeks ago, he confronted The Undertaker in an interesting interaction. The three of them will be on Raw coming up next couple of days in the same ring, just a couple of days up from WrestleMania. I knew initially he was either going to compete, which was kind of far-fetched prediction, or he was going to be the referee, and my second assumption proved it to be the correct analogy of it. So I think that, Shawn Michaels definitely, doesn't need to screw anybody over, although he knows who's going to win. How fucked would it be if he super kicked Triple H? I would love to see that, because The Undertaker would retain his streak and give him another year at WrestleMania. I think that, regardless of what happens in this match, The Undertaker will be known as the Phenom of WrestleMania, but he doesn't deserve to have his streak taken away from him. Tell us what you think, Undertaker fans, on Facebook, and our followers on Twitter. You can do the same, and anyone listening to us on YouTube could drop us a comment. Undertaker to win is my top pick. You can find my picks by heading to my official website. The end of an era match definitely should be the main event. Second to The Rock versus Cena. I really don't like the position of this match on the show when I really think about it. The Undertaker versus Triple H had so much hype last year. So many people were giving their opinion on it. Definitely it should be the main event. Not liking the idea of second to The Rock versus John Cena. I'll talk about The Rock, John Cena throughout the course of the hour here. You're listening to us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Tell us what you think of the show. We're streaming on all 3 social networks. And I want to know what your opinion is about WrestleMania. Let's go to the best in the world versus the best in the world, Chris Jericho versus CM Punk. Initially, I don't think it was meant to be best in the world versus best in the world. Chris Jericho just comes back, nobody knows what he's going to say, and then he cuts this promo about how he's the best in the world at everything he does. So then WWE Creative, at a board meeting, say, let's put the title on this match. We have an end of an era match. We have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity match. Let's have a best in the world versus best in the world match. It works. Having CM Punk's personal life tied into it makes it a little bit more interesting. Makes me favor CM Punk more than I initially did. And if Jericho's going to win the title, it'll probably be at the event after WrestleMania. I don't see Jericho winning the title at WrestleMania. If a title changes hands at WrestleMania, it's going to be Sheamus winning the title from Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is a fucktard as the champion. He's definitely acting retarded as the champion. He doesn't deserve to make Sheamus tap out via the little bell lock at WrestleMania. AJ is going to play a definite wild card in this match. If any wild cards are dealt at this year's WrestleMania, it's definitely going to be AJ. Definitely, I'm impressed with her improvements inside of the ring. But given the fact that statistics have proven over 75% of the winners of the Royal Rumble match each year go on to win the major championship they challenge for at WrestleMania, if any championship changes hands, Sheamus will win the world title for the first time in his career, adding to his already impressive resume, which includes a Royal Rumble victory, a King of the Ring victory, a U.S. Championship reign, a WWE Championship reign not once but twice, and one of the fastest rising superstars in the last 3 years. If anybody should be favored to win a major championship at WrestleMania, it should be Sheamus. Chris Jericho as a champion after winning 31 championships in his career doesn't need to happen. If he wins the title, he will tie Edge for 31 championships garnered in their prestigious careers. Then at WrestleMania 29, if you want, have Jericho versus Edge in the undisputed against the undisputed best in the world wrestler. In my opinion, if you're going to have a best in the world versus best in the world wrestler at WrestleMania, Jericho versus Edge. The greatest champions colliding. CM Punk hasn't done enough to call himself best in the world, and I can see why a Twitter war developed between Punk and Angle. On Twitter, here you have Kurt Angle beating every wrestler in his wrestling career that he could possibly wrestle and beat, and you have CM Punk claiming that he's the best in the world. Jericho has made a couple of legitimate points, and I do agree with Jericho on a lot of things. One of the major things I agree with Jericho on is he's done everything before anyone else ever did it. First to walk to the ring at WrestleMania with Stephanie McMahon. First to be crowned undisputed champion, defeating The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin back in 2001. On the same night to become both the WWE and WCW champion, unifying it as the unified championship. He makes a lot of legitimate claims. Now, before somebody made a lot of things happen, he was the one that stood out in a crowd. I'll never forget his entrance in the WWE interrupting The Rock. You'll find that video on YouTube. He's been there through it all, and probably he deserves to beat Punk. But given the matches we have seen